Dear Diary, I'm not to blame. December 1st, 2012. I've become more paranoid lately. I don't blame myself for my paranoia either, because I know it's the mirror's fault. I used to be just fine around mirrors. Never have I felt any suspicion about them. My nightly routine usually consists of bathing, brushing my teeth, and setting my clothes aside to wear the next day. I usually never bother to check the bedside mirror before falling asleep. Tonight, I decided to take a good look at myself before hopping into bed. Why? I'm not so sure. I decided to turn the room's lights off before standing in front of the large mirror. Gosh, I looked awful, but that was expected. I haven't been getting the best sleep recently, and the darkness around me probably didn't make me look any better. What concerned me the most was that there seemed to be movement within the mirror. I backed away from my reflection, scanning every inch of its surface. Dead in the center was a shadow. I could see it sway slightly back and forth. Was that my shadow? I spun around to look behind me, half expecting to see someone else casting the shadow on the mirror. No one was there, which is actually a good thing. I live alone. No one else should be here. One thing is certain, my sleep deprivation will worsen after this experience. December 2nd, 2012. I awoke this morning and immediately returned to the mirror. Everything about it seemed normal. It was a possibility that my imagination is a little too wild. The whole instance might have been a dream for all I know. My day went on as usual, boring, uneventful, and scheduled. As night fell, I dared to gaze back in the mirror. This time, I stood facing the mirror's center, exactly where the shadow had been last night. I stood watching for what felt like a whole hour, but I don't know for certain. I don't have a clock in my room. As I was just about getting ready to call it quits, my eye caught something. Movement in the mirror. I froze, making sure it wasn't me causing the irregularity. It wasn't me. I know it wasn't me. Because this time, there were two shadows, one on the left, the other on the right. My reflection was in the center. I don't know how long I stayed awake watching the mirror, but I do know that I'm not just seeing things. December 3rd, 2012. I'm having guests over for lunch today, although I'm not certain if that's a good idea. I'm still feeling slightly shaken from the night before. I keep debating if I should tell my guests about the occurrences. They might be able to explain. I quickly rejected the thought, though. Last time I told them about my paranoia, they ridiculed me, treated me like a child. They aren't the nicest group of people, but they always bring great food. I'll just try my best to keep my paranoia contained. December 4th, 2012. Yesterday was a disaster. Even though I tried my best, I couldn't help but slip them a hint. They were practically asking me about it, though. My guests asked if I'd been feeling okay. They know I haven't been feeling well lately. I wanted to tell them so badly about the shadows. You know when you have an itch that you just can't reach? The same sensation was occurring within me. Telling them would supply immediate relief. They looked at me expectantly. I felt my hands go clammy, and I started to tremble. You can talk to us about everything and anything you know, they told me. I keep telling them that everything is fine. I tried so hard to focus on eating lunch, but I know how obvious I looked to them. They knew, so I told them. I explained the shadows in the mirror to them and how absolutely terrified I was of them. I cried and begged for them to help me. I tried following them out the door, but they forcibly subdued me. I really unleashed my emotion. I kicked my legs. I flailed my arms. I kept resisting, but soon stopped after I heard a loud clicking sound behind the walls of my room. My bedroom mirror lit up, revealing two men donned in white coats holding clipboards. "Put on the straitjacket, damn it!" one of my guests shouted at me. Why'd they have to shout? December 5th, 2012. Good gosh, and I thought the worst was over. I hate to say this, but I've become more paranoid lately. Don't blame me, though. It's clearly the mirror's fault.